I want to get us ready. I want to get us ready for the next session. Lisa Marie, if you are here with me, lovely lady, can you hit *6 and 1 to enter into the queue? Lisa Marie is one of the amazing women entrepreneurs in my circle. I've had the pleasure of knowing her for quite a few years now as a client, but not only as a client, but as a health and wellness professional. She's got some amazing videos on YouTube. When she came on the first time for Back to Business, talked about how you can use video marketing to build your tribe. So we were talking about video marketing in the power circle before it became the trend that it is and has blown up to, as Tanya said, it's a video revolution right now. Before the revolution was televised, Lisa Marie and I were talking about how you can become a YouTube sensation. But today, with her expertise in area and wealth, she's going to talk to you today about how your health is your wealth, and why that's important for all of us. So I'm just going to power pause for a second here just to make sure that Lisa Marie is in the queue so that we can rock and roll with you.
I love everything you're doing. I'm so thankful for this virtual intensive, or I'm going to call it intensive because that's what it is, in the best way. And I've been on for every single speaker thus
far. Goodness, have you? Oh, my goodness. I thought I was going to be the only one rocking this out for 12 hours.
Oh, no. It's all. So I am fierce, fired, and focused. And that I got from LaShanda Henry, y'all. And I'm ready to go. So thank you for having me, sweetie. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, my goodness. You are so amazing. A YouTube sensation, a beautiful spirit, a health and wellness expert. The list goes on. And I am so excited to say that we will soon be NC neighbors, right? We will still be rocking and rolling, just a hop, skip, and a jump away. It's just always wonderful to not only create powerful connections online, but when you can meet and hug and love on your sister friends, I think that is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I've seen Lisa Marie, Jay Stone, Kim Coles, Carla Cannon is just like 5 minutes away from me. So my girls are like always in the mix. And I want to make sure that all of you who are here, especially those of you who are listening but are real quiet, I want to make sure that you don't just listen, but you connect. Make those powerful connections, because those are the sister friends that you're going to call on, not the folks that keep asking you, girl, why are you doing that online thing? Why you ain't focused on a job? No. You need the entrepreneurial women who will sit and talk to you on the phone for, if not 5 minutes, 5 hours, and pour into you what you need when you feel like everybody else, you're pouring into them. So I'm going to get off my soapbox, y'all, because this just makes me excited to have Lisa Marie here talking with you today. So, sweetie, I am going to let you to do what you do. I'm going to hand it over and be quiet. Your health is your wealth. Thank you, ladies, for joining. Thank you, Lisa Marie. We are ready to get started.
Thank you, Queen. So yes, my name is Lisa Marie Goodson. For those that may think about, I know that voice, but her name was not Lisa Marie Goodson when I heard that voice before. And you are correct. Actually, my name is still on some occasions, especially when it comes to branding, it's Nubia I. And my tagline on YouTube used to be, so talk about rebranding and being part of what is going to happen, not as even what's happening now. In business, it's about what's going to be happening. That's where you're really in front of it. And so I was Nubia I, the raw food goddess, the womb priestess, and a holistic practitioner. I am now Lisa Marie Goodson of the Blackberry Beauty Transformative Academy, Ancient African Healing for the Modern Sister. And yes, I did say Blackberry Beauty. For those that know, the African American proverb is, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, okay? So we are going to really talk about that idea of really having that sweet juice in your business and how you can monetize something that almost seems abstract, something that almost seems intangible or not able to touch, and it really is your health. And I thought about, I was like, so I'm going to title this your health is your wealth, they're going to be like, girl, we done heard that 1,000 times, okay? What are you going to tell me differently that I'm going to actually be interested in? And more than that, perhaps would even want to buy something from you, or at least understand how I can use my health to monetize now. Is that what we're talking about in the virtual speaking conference that we're doing now? We're talking about monetizing now. So let's think about this idea of every single speaker. If you, like me, were on every single call, you know that every speaker is dynamic. And there's some things about a woman that is dynamic that you can assume that they must have. They're probably hard workers. They're probably researchers. They're probably constantly following the trends and knowing their brand and knowing the competition and understanding what others are doing. They're probably investing in themselves. They're probably paying for, buying courses, creating those courses. So when I say all that, does that make you tired? Because it makes me tired. It makes me tired. And what I mean, why am I saying the word tired? I'm saying that if each of those women, not just collectively, but individual, is doing all of the things that I just said that a dynamic woman would have to do to be a successful entrepreneur, wouldn't that mean that her health should probably be on the top of the list of things to do? And let me tell you, for most of us, it's on the bottom of the list of things to do to be a dynamic woman. It's one thing to be a dynamic woman. I'm talking about today, how do you stay a dynamic woman? By staying here on this earth. We talked about people. I want to say Ronnie Taylor really enjoyed that conversation that she had, her speaking, I'm going to say engagement, her speaking when she talked about, I want to say I watched one of her movies called Generation One, and it had Dr. Boyce Watkins, who LaShanda, I don't watch every last one of your periscopes for 21 days, by the way, and, talked about Dr. Boyce Watkins, who is a finance guru, talks about generational wealth. And in that movie that Ronnie and Lamar Tyler both produced, they really talked about this idea of legacy. And so I want to talk about wealth and legacy for a minute. They talked about this idea of how do we not make all this money that lots of us are making, and because of this virtual intensive we're going to make, how do we keep it? And how do we enjoy it? My husband and I, we always say when we make investments, like we recently bought 18.5 acres of land in a town called Mebane, North Carolina, which is kind of in the Raleigh-Durham area. Now, it was a miracle. It was spiritual, but it was a little bit of work too. We was visualizing, meditating, but also we were charged up. We ate well. We drank lots of water. We made sure that our aura, if I could go there on a virtual monetized, intensive, we really made sure that we stayed physically healthy so we could stay mentally healthy, so we could stay spiritually healthy. But something that we always say is we want to build wealth so that we can leave something for our children. Why is that important? It's important because most of us will either die with what we have in our bank account, and it will never be transferred to someone else because either we didn't know how to do it. And so our children, for their wedding, when they needed that down payment, we're not able to give it to them because we haven't created wealth, but also we haven't created health. I'm going to get there for it in a minute. We can't actually fund their first business. We can't give them the down payment on their first home because we don't have it. Now, the ladies that are in this intensive and the ladies that are listening, maybe some of you now know how to make the money, but what are you going to do with it once you make it? And then you don't even have to answer that question yet because there's a bigger question. If you are not healthy, if you are not here, you ain't passing on nothing to nobody in no time. You ain't passing on nothing to nobody in no time. And that's not why you're here. So, again, my husband and I, we say, yes, we want to be here to pass on our wealth, if you will, to our legacy for our children. But at the same time, we want to enjoy it. We actually want to use some of the money ourselves. We ain't there yet and we ain't gone yet. So therefore, we want to enjoy that 18.5 acres of land. We want to have years. When you actually, let's say that a lot of you for the first time are starting a business, or maybe you've been in the business for maybe 5 years and you're starting to see a profit. Don't you start thinking differently about how much you want to live? so you can start spending or circulating or using some of this money to really enjoy yourself? Wouldn't you hate to think that now that you got the secret to how to generate wealth, that now you're so unhealthy that you're going to probably either spend all that money you made on the doctor bills you're going to be spending to keep yourself alive, or you're not going to be here to enjoy it. That's not what you want. And so when I say your health is your wealth, I'm telling you that if you're not here, so you're the common denominator in money, in making money, in starting a business, in branding, and doing YouTube videos or videos. You're the common denominator. So if you're not here, and then you could be here, but if you're not here healthy, what does it matter if you make $1 million if you're going to spend it on your doctor bills, or worse, your children are going to spend it on your funeral? Well, $1 million funeral would be a heck of a funeral, but you know what I'm saying. And so how do you monetize, though, with your health? So I have a very similar story in a lot of ways to, I'm going to say, Dr. J. Stone. I'm going to call her Doctor because she earned that. And I'll tell you why. In the African communities or Afrocentric community, when there is a person who has knowledge and wisdom from their experiences and their time on this earth, we don't wait for the man to give them a name, a PhD, to call them a doctor. We crown them ourselves. And so Dr. J. Stone talked about this idea of if your passion is not profitable, get rid of it. Or I like what she did, rebrand it, coming from the branding coach. And so for me, I'll tell you how I got started. Yes, LaShonda's right. I love YouTube. People will say, I saw you on YouTube. I get stopped every single day in the supermarket, in the shoe store, walking down the street, and even driving in the car, and somebody's next to me and be like, hey, aren't you Nubia I? Or Lisa Marie Goodson? I love your YouTube. I watch them all day long. And so I think it would be fair or wouldn't be right for me if I didn't tell you kind of how I got started and how YouTube really helped me, but it was my health that brought in my wealth. And so I actually let me tell you a little bit about me. I've been a vegan for over 25 years. I've been a raw foodist. This is a person who don't even eat cooked food, y'all. Don't even eat it. Raw foodist for over 7 years. And when I started becoming a raw foodist 7 years ago, my business started booming kind of by happenstance. I decided that I started this raw food, and it was like so exciting, and my energy changed, and I was so excited and happy. And I decided to do a YouTube video talking about how great I feel being a raw foodist, not trying to sell anything. I wasn't smart enough to know I could sell something, not trying to convince anybody to do what I was doing. I really started a YouTube to let people know that there's this thing called raw foods, and guess what? A black woman is doing it. Because when I went on YouTube to hear about more people talking about raw foods, none of them looked like me. I identified 3 key black players, and they have very little social media presence, very little, if any. And I thought, well, I need to start to get up there. And so my passion, in a sense, became my profit, but it needed to be rebranded, as Dr. J. Stone talked about, was the rebranding of it. And so, but let me tell you how it happened. It wasn't because I was so smart and I knew how to market. It was because I'm sitting here talking about raw foods, and I'm talking about what I ate yesterday with the equipment, the tools that I use, like a dehydrator or a Vitamix or a food processor. I'm talking about the dish that I made and how to make it. And all the comments I would get was, your skin is so beautiful. I was like, then another day be like, what do you put on your skin? And another day, this is like every day, every comment would talk about my glowing skin. And I kept saying, do they hear me giving out valuable information? Do they not get that I'm talking about real stuff here? And they want to know about my skin, not having a clue, okay? But didn't have my entrepreneur hat on yet. It was in there. I had it in the soul. It just needed to come to the surface, right? It wasn't until I met this wonderful man who is now my husband, who I used to say, oh, look at the comments, ha, ha, ha. And I said, it's so cute. He's like, that's not cute, that's money. I was like, huh? That's money. Do you hear? They are asking you, what do you put on your skin? And then, y'all, somebody even got in touch with me from YouTube and said, why don't you package? Because I tell people, Well, actually, I make my own beauty products. Y'all, I was so into health that I was not happy with what was on the market because I felt like I was very healthy or wanted to be at least. So I started making my own products. And so my husband said, and so she said, why don't you market it, put it in labels on a jar, and sell it? My husband came and said, she's right, and look at all of these comments. And we sat down and read so many comments that all asked about my glowing skin. And I started my Blackberry Beauty products, beauty products. I still have them. I make skincare products, what's it, clay mask, mist, shea butters, clay, toothpaste, body baths. I mean, you name it. Everything totally organic, all natural, raw products. Boom. Did that for the first 2 years. I went from public assistance. Now we're talking real talk. EBT card. Now, don't act like you ain't heard about it. You know about it. Some of you may not. And really, public assistance. Went there from making more than I ever made in a job a month, probably gross about $4,000 when I was making about, public assistance, I was probably bringing in about $500, $600 a month. So, of course, again, that wasn't my passion, was to make beauty products. My passion was to tell people about health and wellness. And so, like Dr. J. Stone, I too was like, you know what, I can't do it. My man was like, but you're making money, baby. Don't quit yet. And I'm like, nah, I'm not feeling it. I don't know. I'm going to make them basically, they're going to love me. What they say, that song by Jennifer, what is it, Holiday, and I guess Hudson. You gonna love me, okay? You gonna love me. No, they wanted to know about the beauty. So I stopped making the products, but by then people were really listening to me and my confidence. They would talk about my courage and the whole bit. So I want to reference something. It was Dr. Stacy Ferguson, who talked about this idea of getting sponsorship, and she talked about the idea of confidence and courage. LaShanda had asked her a question about, well, how do you feel comfortable and basically not scared, ishless, to ask people for money to sponsor your live event or event that you're having? And she said these two words. She said confidence and courage. And I agree with her. I agree that when you actually start to focus on your health, when you are drinking a gallon of water a day like I do, when you're eating one solid meal a day, when you're running 5 to 6 miles a day, when you're lunging and doing squats and doing all these things, that actually is going to turn into a profit. And that is actually what people really do want to know about, but they just don't know that. All they see, because we are visual, as our other sister, Dr. Tina Smith, talked about, she talked about video making and how to use that on social media to potentially make money. And when she talked about something that really stood true to me, she said, how I see a lot of times on Facebook, she's right, there's videos that you can watch without even pressing the little click button to turn it on for the sound. Because I do it all the time. Maybe there's people around me, or I've just got up and I'm in my bed and I go for my phone and I don't want to disturb my husband or who's next to me, and I don't want to go get my headset, and I'll look at the video because, like she said, there's captions there, writing there to tell me. But what really is making me even stop to watch that particular video over any other video? The same thing that got my clients or my subscribers, my YouTube viewers, to watch mine. Somebody stood out because their skin was glowing. Somebody stood out because their hair looked dope. Somebody stood out. Whether we want to believe it or not, we are very visual. We will judge a person's credibility on what they look like. People will think, well, no, but Sister Nubia, I will go back to Sister Nubia. You will hear me refer to myself, and also Lisa Marie Goodson. Go with me. It's a thing. I'm changing my name, so, I go back and forth. They'll say, well, isn't really looks, and I'm not talking about looks. I'm going to get real specific so you know what I'm talking about monetizing now with your health. People will say, well, isn't that really just important, the way you look? Isn't that just important to people who are selling a product that's based on looks, like beauty products or health and wellness or fitness? And I say no. I say that a lot of times, let me say this to you, have you ever done this? I did this just the other night. My husband and I decided to watch a movie last night. Everybody saw the movie. It's called Ray. It's old, but sometimes you like to revisit a movie. And you get so into the character that's playing a real person that now you want to know about the real person. So you go, because we have a fabulous social media that at a press of a button I can find out and look for any image I want, and you look for the image of Ray Charles' real wife, not the cute little, I forget her name. I know her name is Olivia Pope more than I remember Kerry Washington, not playing his wife. What does she look like? That's important. You want to know that. Why? We don't even really know. It makes you feel better. You feel like you got a bigger picture. You understand him better. We will go to look for an image. Most likely you're not going to go to a trainer who's out of shape. You're not going to give them your money, and you're not going to go to a hairdresser whose hair probably doesn't look that good itself. So if you think that looks don't matter, every time you click into something, occasionally, if there's a few, so I'll say this way, if there's 5 different people that are teaching you about branding, and you got a choice, you got all those 5 people's video, just their thumbnail next to their whatever they're selling, most likely if you just look for face value, you're going to go to the one that you identify the most with. For me, if it's 5 branding coaches and 4 are white and 1 is black, I'm going to go for the black coach. I'm just going to tell you, I'm black. I won't know what black people talk about. Because in my mind, I might think, well, white folks have an advantage. Can I talk? I hope I can say all this because I'm going to say it, that I, as a black woman, may not have, and I want to hear from this sister. Well, it's kind of the same thing. Even if that sister, now you're thinking, well, let's say that sister's talking about selling baby shoes, right? And you're thinking, well, it doesn't really matter what she looks like if she's selling baby shoes. I'll tell you this. She doesn't have to be super slim. She doesn't have to be a certain complexion of light or dark. She doesn't have to have long or short hair. But if she looks healthy to me, if she has a healthy energy, if she has a vigor about her, I'm probably going to take her over the other girl. And let me tell you why. Even the other girl or other sister may know more. I'm thinking to myself, if she can't control her health, I'm afraid if I invest in her, first of all, she may not be here. She may not have the energy to sustain my business, let alone her own. And that is not a judgment call. This is because I love black women so much that I get afraid when I see them. I go, my God, look at this beautiful woman or this brilliant woman who has so much information. Oh, my God, she has a son. Oh, my God, she has a daughter. Oh, she has children. I hope that they can be here to see her. I'm going to give you real examples so you can say, Nubia, okay, come on now. Is this really relevant? I'm going to give you real examples. I was watching, everybody knows Lisa Nichols, wonderful, motivating the masses, amazing black woman from the, really got her big start from The Secret. I think she co-authored Chicken Soup for the Soul for African Americans, just booming, doing her thing. And she definitely, she will say this, so I'm not saying that she would say she was overweight. Well, apparently she told her story pretty recently because now she's small and looks absolutely amazing, beautiful before, but looks healthy now. And she said that while she was in one hand on stage motivating the masses, and at night she was in the hospital because she was having blood transfusions because she was so overweight that she was suffering, that she was actually sick. So she would go the next morning, and she would go back to the conference, and she would motivate the masses, and she would go back to the hospital at night and get another blood transfusion. We cannot live like that. We are having too many of our sisters and brothers and children dying of curable, preventable diseases. So if you think that your health is not your wealth, it's not attached to your longevity. It's not attached to your profitability. It's not attached to your future legacy. Think again, because it is. And so I want to tell you more about it on an even practical level. So wait, let's talk about what everybody wants to know on YouTube is like, how do your skin? So, okay, I realize that They really just want to know how you get glowing skin. Because I'm not sitting there and tell you, oh, I'm fine with that and I'm so beautiful, but I can tell you with assurance, with as Dr. Stacey Ferguson said, with confidence and courage, that my skin do glow. I can tell you that. And so what I noticed as in real life, people will always ask me, so how do you get your skin is so beautiful? I mean, not just the face, y'all. They want to know about the whole skin, the shoulders, the back, the legs. How do you get your skin to glow? And I used to sit there and go, well, it's the 1 gallon of water I drink a day. And then I go, no. It's the sea salt baths I take for an hour. No. It's the beauty products that I make myself and use. No. It's the meditation and visualization. No. I had a different answer for everyone. And what I realized is all of it. So what I did was turn it into a program because we're talking about monetizing now. We ain't talking about later. We ain't talking about tomorrow. We ain't even talking about yesterday. We're talking about now. So because I realized that what people were drawn to, as Dr. J. Stone talked about, what do people come up to you and say? Just like in the beginning in 2009 when I started the YouTube channel, been on for 7 years straight. When I started the YouTube channel, it really is the same thing. I wasn't mature enough then to have a good answer, but I got a little better at it. And so now I understand that what people are saying is, girl, I would pay you money to look like that, or better still, to have skin that glows like that, period. And once I realized that I was my brand, there's another thing about this new way of making money that's different than the secretary that sits in the accounting pool in the back of the cubicle that no one's going to see. No matter what you're selling, you could be selling doo-doo on a stick, okay? If a doo-doo on a stick, yes, you could. If you look a certain way and you sound convincing, people will buy it. But the thing is, no matter what you're selling, people still want to see you. So even if you were a web designer and everybody knew you for, or knew your brand as a web designer, but you never put your face on your website, they just going to Google you. They're going to Google you. You know they are. And they're going to find out everything they need to know, who you're married to, how many kids you got, and who you was married to, and who you might be interested in getting married to, because that's social media. So the idea that our appearance, and I don't mean, again, I want to be careful, because as Dr. Tanya Smith talked about, that fear of people getting on video is that somebody may criticize. And she shared the story of somebody talking about, it sounds like a fly-ass haircut to me. That she had a short hair because somebody nervous say she was unprofessional. So it's not about trying to look a certain way to please all of the people all of the time. It's about feeling your best. Because really my skin glows not because of something I put on topical. It's because of every single thing that I do in my life, from the thoughts that I think, to the people that I'm around, to the foods that I eat, to the exercises that I do. That's what they want to know, but they may not pay for that. So I had to put it in the package. And the package is called Blackberry Beauty Secrets, How to Glow from Head to Toe. In it, we're not just going to talk about the beauty products, all the exercise I do, the raw foods, how to become a vegan. We're going to talk about how to heal those abandonment issues. We're going to talk about sensuality, sexuality, and adornment. The reason why I'm naming the things that we're doing in this next intensive that starts January 6, 2017, is because I want people to understand that it's so much more than the beauty product that I can buy in a jar of why I look this way. I didn't even know it till I gave 15 different answers to 15 different people, and none of them was a lie. None of them were a lie. So when I realized that, but of course, what people will pay for, I didn't do the research, but I know health, wellness, and beauty must be some top leading industries that people are still using their money or circulating their money towards. I don't say spend a lot, I will say, but spend is to exhaust. And I don't want people to exhaust their money. I want them to circulate it where it goes out and come back, and that is the legacy. But if you ain't here because your health is poor, then it don't matter. That thing ain't circulating. Your moms will spend it because it ain't coming back because you ain't here for it to come back. Do you know that when you take care of your body, the energy, every sister talked about the energy that one will need in order, or you know what, even if they didn't talk about it, them talking told me that they have a tremendous amount of energy. And just the things that they do in the day told me that if they're not taking care of their health, they're not going to be able to sustain that type of energy. Dr. J. Stone, you also talked about the idea of setting up systems in your business so that if you get sick a day or you're not well a day and your business cannot operate because it's based on you being there, then you are going to not have a business, because if you ain't got making no money, you ain't got no business. You got a hobby, you got something you like to do, it's not a business. And so for me, my thing is always, when I see an entrepreneur, you got to know this health thing is so real for me. I think about, like, wow, like, I wonder what she eats, and I wonder how she can eat better. I wish we could work together. She should be my client. I would like to work with her because she's so brilliant. You know what really brought home to me? It's entrepreneur on any level, whether people know they're entrepreneurs or not, or I think everyone should be healthier. So let me give you an example. You may not be familiar with, but we have some great scholars in our African-American community and in the African diasporic community. And so there's a scholar who is deceased now. His name is Dr. John Henry Clark. And there's also was another scholar named Dr. Ben. Beautiful scholars, really brought to us the importance of knowing our Nile Valley African civilization, ancient African civilization culture. They really brought to the forefront who we are. We didn't just come here as slaves. We had a brilliant, beautiful history before, and they gave so much, and they had so much knowledge, and they died too soon, and they died penniless. And they died because their health was poor. Could you imagine if somebody like me or somebody else that's in the health and wellness profession would have been able to be their coach, really, basically, be their coach and was able to coach them so that now this information doesn't die with them, or maybe it stays around, maybe it's retained, but they're not here. And that's a tragedy. And so if I was able to get to them, this is the kind of stuff that I think as a health and wellness coach, if I was able to get to them, how much longer could they have lived and how much more information could they have provided? So I know it's hard, and I hope this is striking a chord in you. You should be having some musical sounds and instruments going on right now. In the African tradition, it's called call and response. So you know how Dr. Venus Overeem says, holla or preach if you hear me. That is an ancient African tradition of call and response. It is what preachers do every day or every Sunday in church. It is saying, do you hear me? Do you feel me? And so I want you to feel me. I want to go deeper into this idea of monetizing your health. First of all, understanding what you have. That's number one, understanding that no matter what you're selling, as Dr. J. Stone said, it's about what people are buying. It's not what you're selling, it's what they're buying. I don't know if she said it that way, but that's how I'm saying it. And I agree with that, because what people wanted to buy was beauty or glowing skin, if you want to be specific. But how I got that was all these reasons of the way I ate and drank and thought, my spirituality, my sea salt baths, all of those things, my daily activities, the people I hang around. I got to teach it that way. So I do. I have online courses. I actually have a $67 a month membership group where women pay $67 a month. I have a particular program, and I send them videos, and it's a group, and they pay. I also have those intensives where I do 6 weeks intensives. That's the January 6, 2017, Blackberry Beauty Secrets, How to Glow from Head to Toe. But I also have specific courses. No matter what business is trending, what business is popular, if you are not healthy enough to see it through, you're not going to be profitable, because you're not going to be here. I think about something. I know that this subject, maybe you didn't think about it, maybe before I started talking about it, but I believe this, that as I am talking about it, you are sitting there going, I sure do know how to make a lot of money, but I can't tell you how to make a raw cheesecake. I sure do know how to make a lot of money, but I really don't drink enough water as I should in a day. I sure can tell you how to make enough money, but honestly, at the end of the day, I'm exhausted. I sure do love what I do, but really I could do it better. So this is my other thing. Point two is, if you are, I don't care, if you're making $1 million, change your diet, you make $1 billion. If you're making 6 figures now, change your way of thinking, and you'll make $7 billion. Let's make $7 billion. That's okay. Or 7 figures, tomorrow. So no matter how good you are, you're only as good as your health. I'm going to repeat that. No matter how good you are, you're only as good as your health. So let me give you another example, real examples of how your health is your wealth, and how because of your health you can actually monetize it in an indirect way, even if you're not selling health, beauty, fitness products. So it's about the way you look. People approach you. See, when people use the word, how do your skin glow? What they're saying to me, and this is what I'm getting. You have an aura. You have something about you that makes me want to sit next to you, talk to you, or LaShanda, as you talk about pick your brain, and you better listen to LaShanda. Her Periscopes told you if they want to pick your brain, they can go to get a consultation from you. She put it way nicer than I did. They can go get a consultation from her, and they can pick your brain all day long. But it is something about that glow. It is something about that aura that people want to come around. So I'll give you an example. I just did a speaking engagement at Natural Hair Max, Natural Health and Hair Summit in Atlanta, Georgia on October 1st. And even though, again, Dr. J. Stone talked about and others, the speaking engagement did not pay that much, I was able to sell products on CDs that I learned from LaShanda Henry. Thank you very much. And I was also able to make connections with other people. So, but the beautiful connection was more than I thought. I was able to see my subscribers and viewers live and to hug them, like LaShanda you talked about in the beginning of me starting this talk here. It was such a different experience, y'all, to see somebody in person instead of reading a username under a comment on YouTube, and it was good for them. Also, they all kept saying, you really look like the videos. So you better look good, because people looking at the videos, if you don't look like that, they're going to call you on it. So you want to look good for that. That's just a little side note that came to me. But real talk, I'll tell you that I was sitting in the airport. So I'm coming back from the event, and I'm sitting in the airport. And as you know, airports have, I call it concession foods. I don't know the other name, but let's just think about it. That food ain't good. The only reason you eat it is because you ain't bring your own food and you hungry and everybody else is eating. It's amazing, y'all, how you may not be hungry, but if you're sitting in an airport and everybody else is eating, you're going to eat too. You talk about some major marketing strategies. Airports got it down. And as LaShanda Henry taught me, you can learn a lot about how to market by the way other businesses are marketing in your everyday going to a store, shopping on Amazon, going into Costco, or sitting in the airport. So everybody is eating, and they're not just eating, they're gorging themselves because people truly believe in the 3 meals a day and the whole bit. And today I'm going to actually give you some real health tips talking about the 3 meals a day so that you can actually get an understanding of why they made that statement. But people thinking they're hungry and they're eating more. Now me, I'm eating too. I'm caught up I'm in the airport and there's a lot of food and everybody's eating. But it's obvious I got some seeds, y'all, that I soaked and then dehydrated, and it's a good reason for that. If you take my course, you'll find out. And I'll share some stuff with you, tips. I also have these fruit roll-ups that, people buy in the store. I actually make my own and put it in a dehydrator so it's still a raw food. I had lots of fruit, organic pears and apples and grapes. I'll never forget. So I have my food laid out. I'm glowing. I'm glowing not just because I do a lot to do that, to stay healthy, but because, y'all, when you actually do something you really love and then you get paid to do it, that'll bring a glow on by itself. And that you can package that one, too, because it's pretty amazing. And so I'm glowing and I'm happy. I'm eating my food. And this beautiful sister, chocolate sister, comes sit next to me, and she could have talked to anybody. She talks to me. She says, hey, I noticed you're eating something that looks healthy, something like that. What are you eating? And she said, yeah, you know why I stopped you? Because I saw your skin. And I said, how did this woman get this skin? And do you know I booked a client on the plane, basically in the airport. And let me just say how deep it was, because the one person, the one client that you're booking for to utilize your goods or services in the future, she comes with 50 other people. Believe that. And if they're the right 50 other people, your business could profit from you sitting in the airport. How to profit your business in the airport. So so she actually, we're on Southwest. If those that don't know, Southwest has open seating. And so therefore you have to be called by your number. And so her number was before mine, and she got on the plane. That girl was holding a seat from Lisa Marie Goodson, I'll tell you that much. And I said, she says, oh, yeah, I got this seat for you. It was a middle seat. Y'all, if you drink a gallon of water a day, that bathroom is going to be your best friend. So I need an aisle seat. I was like, well, I need an aisle seat. She's like, oh, well, you could take my aisle seat, and I'll sit in the middle. I just want to talk to you. So I booked a consultation with me. She booked a consultation with me, next to me on the seat, on the plane, and told me that she has 50 other friends that would love my service, and also hooked me up on a possible speaking engagement with the Black Caucus in order for them, because she said they had great information. These women were powerhouses in men. They were politicians, councilmen, assemblywomen, all these higher ups, people in all, genres of life, and they all were not well. They were sick. They had weight issues. They had diabetes. They had high blood pressure. They were not well. And these were our genius minds. It takes a village to raise a child, and our village is dying. And they're dying from things like food, like not getting enough exercise, like using unnatural products that's with all kinds of chemicals and parabens, and they do want help, but they don't know where to go. So the idea of the social media is very important. The idea of the video, as Dr. Tanya Smith talked about, is very important, because now they're able to find you. But if you're really living in a healthy way, and when I say healthy, I mean healthy for you. I don't expect the average person to drink a gallon of water a day. I don't expect the average person to run 5 to 6 miles a day. I don't expect, I could go on and take an hour or hour and a half sea-salt bath every day. I feel like my energy has to be higher than even my client's energy in order to serve as many people as I possibly can. But remember, it all started with kind of a monetization model that I didn't even know I had. It was YouTube. They've said comments. All the comments were similar. 7 years later, do you know that the comments are still the same? I could be talking about molecular biology, which, by the way, I don't talk about and I don't know nothing about, but they'll be like, so what you use on your skin again? And I laugh now. Now it's funny because it's like, I get it. I'm not mad at what you want. I got it. And I can sell it to you. But now I had to learn how to do that and understand that even though for me it's 1,000 things, or reasons why I look or my skin glows, I want to be very specific, why my skin glows, it's really that they want to buy it, and I need to put it in a formula where I can teach them about the healing abandonment issues, the healing your womb. A lot of women come to me with fibroid tumors. A lot of women come to me with endometriosis. A lot of women come to me with reoccurring yeast infections. A lot of women come to me with ovarian cysts or infertility. So do you understand that my very life of not trying, when I became healthy, I wasn't trying to teach that. I wasn't definitely trying to monetize it. I was just wanting to stay alive, and it felt so good to be healthy and alive. That was it. So I was blessed enough to turn my passion, which was my everyday life, into something that people need. Do you know the businesses that I bet will never go out of business for the rest of our lives and the lives to come are people who help you birth a baby. So somebody that helps you to bring in life, like probably hospitals and the funeral homes, because people are going to die, and it ain't wrong for somebody to provide a service to bury your loved ones. And it ain't wrong, well, I don't know if it's wrong charge you that much money to have a baby because I have mine at home naturally. But you get the point is that people are always going to need something that keeps them, that brings them in this earth and that keeps them on this earth. And they will pay for it. But you don't have to be one of those people that go into your grave early because you have not taken care of your health. Not only that, if you took one of my courses or somebody else that teaches courses from a holistic perspective, what you'll find is, guess what? You'll be that sister. You'll be that chick. You'll be that queen sitting in the chair at the airport, and somebody see your beaming light and is going to gravitate to you and say, how do you get such glowing skin? What are you eating? And you'll be able to monetize that as well. So, I can go on and on, y'all. I done had all my raw food today. I done went to, today, when I say I was on every call, y'all, I had to have I go to something called a green day spa, and I get a manicure and a pedicure every 2 weeks. I do that green. It's green, it's organic, it's no chemicals. But even on my way, I had the phone on the speakerphone when I got in the car. When I got into the salon, I had my headset, and I plugged it into the phone. And I went to the bathroom with the phone on and my headsets on because I didn't want to miss a thing. Something about, for those that are listening that think, wow, can I ever really be any of these women? Can I make the money they make? Can I have the success that they have? Don't you feel like just listening to all of them, you feel like you hanging out with them? And if you hang out with them, LaShanda always talks about your business is based on the company you keep. She's saying way better than me, but you know that. And she's right. But we are keeping that company, and that pumps you up. So I don't want to just talk in theory. I want to give you 5 steps to eating yourself to wealth, and I want to take the time to do that now. If there's questions, actually, I'll take my questions at the end because I'm too much on the road, y'all. So let me get into the 5 steps, and how did I word it? 5 steps to eating yourself to wealth. I say step number 1 is learn the difference between hunger and thirst. And let me just say, I talked about the monetization, and I can talk about it further. I do have an offer for you at the end, but right now I want to give you something so you could start right now. You could say, Lisa Marie Goodson, she really does love black women, and she really does care about our health. So tip number 1, learn the difference between hunger and thirst. Do you know a lot of times when you think you're hungry, you're actually thirsty? And that when you actually drink a lot of water, first of all, you are really activating the mind. That lethargic fatigue feeling that you get from researching on social media for hours, for figuring out your brand and what it is, all the work that you do in your business, it can make you sluggish because you're using energy, and most likely you're losing water. Right now I'm talking, I done lost half a gallon of water, possibly. I'm a little extreme, but every time you're moving, you're actually depleting your water supply. We all know our bodies is more than 70% of water, so drinking a lot of water is important. What I see people do, especially entrepreneurs, we're too busy to go prepare a great meal. We're too busy to make sure we're eating healthy. We're working in front of the computer, so we're not actually taking care of our bodies. And one way to fix that, because I'll get to the next step, but one way to fix that is start when that feeling of hunger comes and you're in front of that, computer, because we're going to eat more when we're not focused on just eating and we're actually multitasking, which I know entrepreneurs love. I do my best not to do that, but I'll teach that in my course. Drink water instead. Water, and think about water. Water represents flow. I'm very into the metaphysics. Meta means beyond, and physics is physical. Meta means beyond the physical. If you believe in God, if you are spiritual, if you are religious, then you are metaphysical as well. You believe in the things that you cannot see. As an entrepreneur, you would have to believe in the things that you cannot see, or you're insane if you don't and you want to do this business. So water is about flow. And when we talk about flow, we think of money as flowing. We don't think of money as stagnant. We don't think of money as stopped up. But if you don't drink water, your vital organs will stop up. Your vital organs will shut down. You will not flow. As above, so below. As within, so without. If the inside ain't flowing, the outside may reflect that as well. Step number 2 is eating all day is not the way. So the step number 2, most of us think that we need 3 meals a day, and they need to be very heavy meals. Let me tell y'all, I wasn't always healthy. I was like LaShanda. I was born and raised in Brooklyn. I was born in Kings County Hospital in Brownsville. If you don't know about Brownsville, the term is never ran, never will, okay? And Bed-Stuy is do or die. So, to tell you that people called the other name for Brownsville was Vietnam, just trying to tell you. So it wasn't the healthiest place to live by any means, right? And so the idea that to eat all day, or we have to, so I grew up on pork chops and ground beef and chicken liver and all kinds of the same foods that many of you may be eating, have been eating. So I'm telling you that to realize that I eat so much less. They say the longest living people are the people who eat the least amount of food. I'm going to say it again. The longest living people are the people that eat the least amount of food. What you want is high quality food, because every time you feel like you're hungry, you're not actually craving food. You're craving more nutrients. If you eat nutrient-rich foods, then you'll have nutrient-rich money because your health is your wealth. So eating all day, not necessary. I go deeper into it in my intensives, but let's just put that out there. So step number three is getting more rest so that you can look your best. Remember what I said. I don't care if you're selling doo-doo on a stick. If you look good selling it, people will buy it, and they'll tell other friends about how your doo-doo on the stick is better than somebody else's. It's funny, but it's not. When I say look your best, I ain't say look better than somebody else. I ain't saying look like somebody else. I'm saying that you all know in business that you have a personal best. You all know in business how to give your best. Why do we not give our best in how we look? How we look is really determined by how we feel. And how we feel is determined by what we do. So getting more rest so that you can look your best is a very important thing to do, because it matters. It matters. So, okay, that's step number 3. We got 5. Step number 4 says fruits and vegetables are like dollars and cents, baby. Hold on one sec, y'all, because I'm getting hot. Okay. I'm excited. Okay, so step number 4 is fruits and vegetables are like dollars and cents. The more you deposit them in your body, the better the return. Let me say it again. Fruits and vegetables are like dollars and cents, and I should say organic fruits and vegetables are like dollars and cents. The more you deposit them in your body, the better the return. Is that self-explanatory? Because it should be. Everybody knows this is not a vegan, vegetarian against the meat eaters. I love people too much for that. I come from a meat eater. I was born into meat eating, so I don't have a problem with somebody that does it. I have a problem with beautiful, dynamic, extraordinary, would-be rich entrepreneurs dying because they don't eat fruits and vegetables. Not just fruits and vegetables. That's my thing. I'm out there, y'all. You don't have to be out there. I'm saying more of it. That's it. So the more you eat, it really is a deposit into your health, wealth, and well-being. And I want that for you. And then my final step is fasting at least once a week can eliminate the need for lots of sleep. Now, I'm going to say it again. Let me read it again. Fasting at least once a week can eliminate the need for lots of sleep. Why is that so important? Why is that so important? That is so important because most entrepreneurs don't sleep a lot. And the ones that make good money, they probably sleep the least. I mean, I love Dr. Venus Research. She don't work hard and she makes millions. I want to learn that one because I tried that early on in my career, and I don't know. But I think working hard is different, and that's what I love about it. I know what she's saying. She's saying there's people that work 2 jobs that is always broke. There's people that work more than you do and make less because their mind is that I got to work hard and I'll make money, and it's not working smarter. So I think she means she doesn't work hard, she works smart, and she probably said that. I missed a little bit of her talk. So, but I want to say I do understand that if you fast, now don't let the word scare you. Even in business, everything is metaphysical to me. So think about your business. Think about that. Sometimes, have you ever realized you just too on top of your business? You just stressed out. You changing it too much. You're not allowing a certain endeavor or a plan or a new brand or a new product or service to stick. You're so like, oh, my God, that's not working. Maybe I should change it. Oh, my God, that's not working. Or maybe I should change it. And after a while, you kind of got to move away from the vehicle. Step away from the vehicle and give it a rest. You're pushing it too hard. It's not going to produce. Your car can go but so far before it needs some fuel. Your car can go so many miles before it needs some servicing. And so does your body. Remember, as above, so below, as within, so without. So when you fast, you're letting go. And for those that are religious or spiritual, you're letting God. You're letting something else. What you're really doing is everything you implemented, it needs time to kind of click. And you're allowing that re-clicking, if you will, that reorging, if you will, to come in. And so something beautiful can happen from that. Well, fasting is the same way. Fasting is I'm giving my body a break so that I can actually do more, so that I actually can live longer, so that I can actually make more money. Wow, beautiful concept, isn't it? So I want to give you a couple of other things that I thought about. So you can't make money for long if you are sick, okay? You can't make money for long if you are sick. So when you hear people say your health is your wealth, if you are sick, and I don't mean sick because you got a cold for 3 days. No. I don't mean that. I don't mean sick because, you sick and tired, of being sick and tired. No. I mean, if you out for the count, you ain't counting no money. All right. Anyway, we got 10 minutes, and I'm having so much fun. But I like Dr. J. Stone, and like a lot of the other ladies, I even have more fun when people ask me questions because I'm a giver. So, LaShanda, if you want to chime back in, that's fine. Or anybody has any questions, I would love to answer them.
Oh, my goodness. When we talk about love and laughter, so I'm sitting here laughing my head off because so much of what you said, and you said it with such a humor, but with authenticity and honesty. I think for me it was a wake-up call. I don't know how many of you know that I am a diabetic, and so whenever I hear about being an entrepreneur and understanding that your health is your wealth, it resonates with me because it's challenging. And sometimes we do a lot of times, I will be honest, put ourselves at the bottom of the list. Dr. Venus talked about that. Tara talked about that as one of the motivating factors of her creating the self-care box. So I appreciate this today because it's an opportunity for us to say, listen, it's not just about the money and the strategies. A part of that wealth factor is understanding your health factor. And I think that I appreciated this as one of my big aha sessions. Ladies, if you would love to chime in and chat with Lisa Marie, you can certainly hit *6 and 1 to do so that you can enter into a space to be honest and authentic as well. And I want to make sure that you go over to her website, theblackberrybeauty.com. Is that correct? I want to make sure that I say it correctly.
That's right, theblackberrybeauty.com, yes.
Absolutely. Okay, awesome. So that you can take advantage of her wealth, literally her wealth of resources, because she's been doing this for so long. And you know what? When people say, I want to see the results, I want to see the proof, well, her skin, her body, her glowing spirit, her thousands of followers and clients are proof that what she's talking about is really truth and, speaks to how you can potentially grow, not just from the outward, but as you suggested, what's within is without as well. Now, I'm just going to put a question out there for you, for those ladies who are listening like myself and say, I know I'm supposed to get better at this, but I don't know what to do. And you talked about, and I love the recommendations, water, and what are some baby steps that we can take?
Yes, that's a great question. First, I want to make this offer for everyone. I created a special email for you all to go to, and for the next 3 days, you can ask me any question that you want, because some people may even have questions that are private. I deal with a lot of clients that are dealing with some other issues, female issues, that they may not be good on a conference call to ask that question. So let me just give you that email. That email is Lisa Marie Goodson, Goodson, Goodson 67 @gmail.com. I know it's long, but I like long things. It's Lisa Marie Goodson, that's my name, Goodson, 67, number 67 @gmail.com. The next 3 days, you want to ask me a question, because a lot of people are really dealing with stuff. I mean, serious life-threatening things, or so they think, and they may not ask that question. So, but to answer your question right now is, what is the baby step that you can do? This is something that one of the intensives that I teach. I teach an intensive every month, or I used to. I'm changing that a bit. But one of them was doing something new. We focused for 4 weeks on just doing something new. A lot of times our sickness lies in the fact that we're doing the same things over and over again. Everybody knows this term, but expecting different results. The reason why you're not, you're not reaching your health goals is because you're thinking in the same way. You're thinking about the solution to a very old problem. You're thinking about the same old solution to an old problem, and we need new solutions to old problems. So what does that mean? I'm saying, instead of saying, well, I know that I have to change my health, but it's so hard, and I know what I can do. I can go on a diet. I don't want you to think about going on a diet. The only thing I want you to think about is I need to drink more water. I mean, that really is the beginning. People, LaShanda, the value and the magic of water. Just even experiments has been done with the idea of water and the energy that it holds. Water is sometimes all your body is crying for. Everyone can eat the chicken, the beef, whatever you're still doing. I'm going to tell you to still do it. I'm just going to ask you, could you just drink some water? Ways to do it so you know you're doing it. I like to drink out of mason jars. That country girl's still in me. I'm a country African. That's what I call myself. Okay, country African American. And so I know that 4 quarts. So a quart, they got mason jar, and they have quart-sized mason jars, right? You fill 1 of those up, that's a quart. You fill 4 of those up, that's a gallon of water. My goal is for me every day, don't do this, don't do it at home. This is for the experts. Is to drink 4 of those quarts. All I want for you is have a goal to drink 1 of those quart mason jar of water a day. 1. Because what you focus on grows. Your body will love the water, and it will want more, and it will tell you what else that it needs. So that's where I would get started. If I could suggest that, get you a quart size, go inside Ace or one of the hardware stores, get you a quart-size mason jar. They sell it 6 or 8 in the package. Fill it up and drink that one. Take your time if you need to. Drink that 1 quart of water a day and come back to me and say, dang, I feel better, because I know you will.
Oh, that's powerful. I love it. Lisa Marie, you know that we can talk about this forever, but we're right at the end of the hour. So I really want you ladies, I want you to go to theblackberrybeauty.com. Stay connected with Lisa Marie. She is so open. She's given you her email address. So if you've got something personal but very powerful that you want to talk about, there's no reason or excuse to not connect with Lisa Marie. So once again, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Queen. Peace and blessings, and I'll see you in North Carolina in December. I got some great things. Yes, we got some collabs to do, and I got a couple of them. So I love you. Love all the ladies that spoke, and love all the ladies that will, and love the listeners. Peace and blessings. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. The authenticity, the love, the light, the laughter. Listen, inside of the Power Circle, I do not exaggerate. I know sometimes people put stuff up on sales pages to tell you all this quote-unquote stuff, but I don't exaggerate when I say these women genuinely want to see you succeed.